1981 Suzuki GS 1100 Pro Street drag bike.
So 1981, you got a 140-mile-an-hour bike. You pull a few screws out and the thing does 200 miles an hour.
It's an original souvenir program from the unveiling of the Statue of Liberty. It's extremely rare. You'll never see another one.
That is really, really cool.
Corey tries to leave work early to go paintballing with Chum, but Rick immediately shuts him down. The classic Pawn Stars power struggle begins as Rick insists his shift isn't over till 6. Corey's defiance and Rick's hardline stance show this isn't just about paintball. It's a battle of wills in a family business where discipline is as important as the deals they make.
Wait a minute, it's only 5 o'clock. Where in the hell are you going?
Me and Chum are going paintballing.
Your shift's not over till 6.
You just don't get off early.
You'll make a habit of it.
So now you're worried about what I might do later on.
What you will do later on.
A customer brings in a metal object he found with a detector, claiming it's an antique card cheating device. He wants $200 to $300. Rick is skeptical but intrigued, launching into a hilarious history lesson on old-time poker cheaters who'd get shot for pulling an extra ace. The item's potential for danger and deception makes it an instantly captivating piece of underground history.
Hey, how's it going?
Got something really awesome for you to look at. It's a card holdout device.
You mean like a card cheating device or something?
Yes, sir. I found this with my metal detector. I'm a treasure hunter.
Okay, where at?
The seller demonstrates how the cheating device would be used, hidden inside a jacket to secretly hold out a card. He confidently explains the mechanism, solidifying its story, but Rick's skepticism remains, wisely asking if the seller knows for sure it's a cheating device. The seller's admission that he just saw one for sale online is the first major crack in this artifact's credibility.
Then hanging inside your jacket?
Yes, you would have it like that, and then you would hold your cards up. You know the term, hold your cards close to your vest? And you just pull the card out and replace it and put the other one in.
Rick hunts for the truth online, battling Pops for computer access in a classic comedic squabble. He types in the patent date and the shocking reveal comes. It's not a cheating device, it's a cuff holder for shirts. The air deflates from the room. Rick bluntly states there's no market for antique cuff holders, delivering a brutally funny reality check to the disappointed treasure hunter.
Move, Pops. The internet's not working over here.
What?
Move.
Why?
Because I told you to. Please, just let me use the computer.
Okay, say please.
And all you have to do is just type in patent, the date they give you, and it'll tell me everything patented on that day.
Really?
Okay. This is apparently a cuff holder.
Karma arrives for Corey as he limps into the shop, injured from his paintball trip. Chum reveals he backed Corey into a corner, causing him to trip and hurt himself. The family's response is pure Pawn Stars, zero sympathy. Rick even asks if Chum kept shooting him after he fell. It's a hilarious lesson in workplace consequences and the show's trademark tough love dynamic.
Well, me and Chum were paintballing. I messed up my wrist and twisted my ankle.
I backed him into a corner and he got scared and tried to run, tripped over his shoelace, and he hurt himself. Don't mess with me when it comes to paintball, son.
That's karma for you.
A new customer presents a Jim Daly painting, hoping to get $13,000 to help fund his new business. He reveals he got it as a tip from his father, who was a mover. Rick is impressed, noting the artist's skill, especially with the difficult-to-render hands. This backstory adds a layer of legitimate blue-collar provenance you don't often see with high-value art coming into the shop.
That's really, really cool. You know, my dad lost like 40 or 50 pounds and grew a mustache. He'd look a lot like that, probably.
Jump off a bridge, Ricky.
I definitely respect Jim Daly as an artist. The reason I'm selling this painting today is I started my own business. Hey, I'm hoping to get $13,000.
Rick's excitement turns to suspicion. Despite the signature and a thumbprint on the back, he fears it might be a high-quality print on canvas, not an original painting. Printing technology is just too good now. This is the critical moment where a potential fortune could turn into a worthless replica, showing how high the stakes are when thousands of dollars are on the line for a single piece.
Master prints filed with, okay? That's what scares me because it's on canvas, but they got some incredible printing technologies right now. They can print what looks like a painting on canvas.
Art expert Brett examines the piece, praising Jim Daly's nostalgic, technically proficient style. He points out key details like paint running over the canvas edge, which indicates a true original. The tension builds as he methodically confirms its authenticity, transforming the item from a question mark into a verified, valuable asset. This is the expert appraisal that makes or breaks the entire upcoming negotiation.
Now, do you know much about Jim Daly?
Not really.
Okay. Jim's a contemporary artist. I think he's still living and painting. He really concentrated fixated a lot on early images of America pre-World War II. Just lots of real vintage Americana.
Brett delivers the final verdict. It's an original painting with a retail value between $10,000 and $15,000. The seller is visibly relieved to hear this good news. This moment validates the customer's faith in his item and sets the financial playing field for Rick, who now has a professional benchmark he can use to structure his much lower wholesale offer.
All right, so what's it worth and what's the market like?
In a retail fine art gallery for a piece this size, quality and condition, you'd probably be looking at about $10,000 to $15,000.
Really? Good to hear.
It's a beautiful piece.
The negotiation is tough. The seller wants $13,000, but Rick opens with a lowball offer of $6,000. They go back and forth, with the seller desperately trying to get closer to his goal. They finally settle on $6,500. The seller admits it's less than he wanted, but it will still help his business, showcasing the classic compromise between dream value and pawn shop reality.
I will give you $6,000.
You can do 8.5?
No, I can do 6. Very small portion of the population can afford to spend $8,000 to $10,000 on a painting, okay? This is gonna hang around for anywhere from 1 day to 5 years.
A man brings in a bizarre, creepy-looking contraption he claims is an 1800 stroller. Rick is baffled, joking it looks like a rickshaw for a small person or a prop from a horror movie. The seller himself admits he wouldn't pull his kids in it, calling it dangerous. The sheer weirdness of this item provides a perfect, lighthearted palate cleanser between the high-tension art and bike deals.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how about you?
All right, what do you have here?
Well, this is an 1800 stroller.
Okay. You sure it's not a really old rickshaw for a small person?
Despite his injuries, Corey heads out back to check out a custom-built rat bike. The builder boasts it's faster than anything Corey's ridden and that it's a one-of-a-kind art piece made from car parts. The builder's clear passion and pride in his creation is evident, but that very uniqueness makes it incredibly difficult to price, setting up a classic clash between sentimental and market value.
So this is it, huh? Oh, that's nice, man.
This is my hardtail bobber rat bike. I would be willing to bet a couple of $1,000s that it's faster than anything you've ridden.
I'd take that bet, my man.
The motorcycle expert values the rat bike at only $6,000 to $8,000. The builder is disappointed, standing firm that it's worth $15,000 to him because of his labor. They can't make a deal. This outcome perfectly illustrates a common pawn shop truth. The value of a labor of love is often highest to the one who created it, not to a buyer.
Well, it sounds good. It's not ticking really bad in the top end.
So what I need to know is, what are these bikes going for these days right now?
I mean, these bikes are so specialized that you would have to find another buyer that would want the same style of the bike.
A customer wants to sell a beat-up 1950s Coke machine, and Rick immediately spots what look like bullet holes. The seller isn't sure, just that it's been in his family forever. He wants $400 for it. Rick's mind is already racing with the restoration potential, seeing past the rust and spiders to the profitable vintage gem hidden beneath all that damage and neglect.
So what do we got here, man?
We got a Coke machine to get rid of.
I can see why. Are these bullet holes over here?
Oh, yeah, possibly. Trying to sell this Coke machine. It's Model 39. That's really all I know. I just don't need it anymore and want to get rid of it.
The door opens to reveal a horror show of spiderwebs, making Rick arachnophobic on the spot. The seller insists it still turns on, calling it good solid metal. Rick sees the rough shape, but also the huge potential, knowing a wide variety of people, from restaurateurs to guys with game rooms, would pay top dollar for a properly restored piece of classic Americana like this.
It seems like there's 500 spider webs at the bottom of this thing. Does it actually turn on?
Yeah. Plug it in, it turns on. It doesn't look good, but it turns on. You gotta remember, it's from the 50s. It's good solid metal.
The seller stands firm on his $400 price, but Rick counters with a lowball offer of just $300. They haggle briefly and finally settle on the original $300. Rick knows it's a gamble. The market for destroyed Coke machines is zero, but if he invests in a restoration, this piece of junk could potentially become a massive moneymaker. It's all about the cost of the rebuild.
I think 400 is pretty fair for it.
I got $300 on it.
350.
$300.
You know what?
Deal.
Thank you very much.
I know this Coke machine looks terrible, but there's a huge market for restored Coke machine. There's no market for destroyed Coke machines like this thing.
A man named Jim brings in an 18th century flintlock pistol, his prized possession. He's only selling it because his wife is making him choose between the gun and her. He jokes that she's paid off, but you can tell it pains him to part with it. He bought it at a gun show for $800 and is now hoping to get $1,000 for it.
What do we got here? It's an 18th century flintlock pistol used around the Revolutionary War. After they'd shoot something, and they'd flip it around and use this to smash somebody in the head.
You actually make some of the axes on the end of them.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Telling Jim he doesn't know if it's real and needs to call an expert before making any deal. This is the critical Pawn Stars moment where a dream of a big score hinges entirely on authentication. Jim agrees, understanding that without verification, his prized flintlock is just a cool-looking conversation piece, not a valuable historical artifact.
$1,000. It's not that it wouldn't be worth $1,000. It's, I just don't know if it's real. I'd like to call in an expert.
Okay.
If it is real, then I can definitely take it and we can probably work out a deal.
No problem.
All right, deal.
Got to make sure it's real.
A customer brings in a beautiful 1941 Filco radio, hoping for $250. He got it at an antique store just because he liked its looks. Rick examines it, pointing out it's designed to match your furniture, a cool detail from the 1930s. They open it up, and the back is just as interesting, with all the vacuum tubes lighting up, a fully functional piece of history.
This Filco radio is in great condition. I'm not sure what it's worth, but I'm hoping to get $250 for it. I'd be happy with that.
So where'd you get it?
I got it at an antique store. I just saw this and sort of liked the looks of it. Thought it was a cool looking box.
They turn the radio on, and after the classic tube warm-up period, a baseball game crackles to life. It's a magical moment that instantly transports everyone back to 1939. The customer still wants $250, but Rick explains that's the price for a refinished one. He makes a low offer, leading to a negotiation that finally settles at $150, a perfect price for a pet project.
Yes, this one is the on-off switch.
Okay.
You want it on?
Yeah, let's turn it on.
All right, wait till it comes out. There you go. Tubes have to warm up.
There we go.
I hear something.
Over for the Redbird. Get on the board. With a run, 2 hits.
A woman brings in a piece of the Berlin Wall, complete with a signature and an armband from the man who picked it up. She's kept it safe for 14 years. Rick immediately spots a problem. The armband is from East Germany, DDR, but she claimed the man was from the West. It's a small detail that starts to unravel the item's perceived historical significance.
So how did you get it?
It was actually given to me by the man who picked it up, whose signature is there.
Okay.
And that is actually his armband. It is certified here by his handwriting that he picked it up.
And he gave his sash as proof too.
Rick delivers the crushing news. While large, artist-painted sections of the wall sold for tens of thousands, small, plain rocks like this are practically worthless. He reveals you can buy them online for $3 or $4 a piece, noting there were 50 miles of wall. It was just a lot of concrete. Her heartfelt personal treasure is, in the cold collectibles market, just a rock.
Sections. Now, those sections went for a lot of money, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, because they were considered artwork. One of the artists was Keith Haring. This, unfortunately, is not, there's no art there.
Rick takes the battered Coke machine to Rick's restoration. The restorer, Rick, is horrified, calling it the roughest thing I've ever seen. He points out it's basically a shell, missing the coin mechanism, bezels, and tons of internal parts. As the expert lists every missing piece, Rick's buyer's remorse visibly grows, thinking this restoration project might have been a very, very bad financial idea.
Like I said, a little rougher than most.
Wow, that's the roughest thing I've ever seen. Somebody didn't like it very much, did they? Wow, they destroyed that. It looks like somebody did abandon it out in the desert and stole all the parts. Coin mech's missing, the bezel's missing. Yeah, on the inside, it's missing a lot of parts.
The restorer proposes a brilliant idea. Instead of a pure restoration, he'll convert it into a multi-drink machine that can hold different sodas or even beer bottles. This modern twist makes it far more practical and sellable than a machine that only dispenses one type of Coke. The market for a cool, functional vintage-style fridge is much bigger than for a strict antique.
Yeah, what do you think?
What I'd like to do, cut all this out and redesign this whole machine and make it into a machine that will be a multi-drink machine instead of a single machine.
The market determines whether you should restore an item or not. Old guns, people don't want them restored. They want them in the condition they're in.
The firearms expert examines Jim's Flintlock. He details what a real one would be like, but then drops the bomb. It's a reproduction. The markings are punched, not engraved, and it lacks crucial proof marks. It looks old, but the age is artificial. Jim is devastated, having paid $800 for it. The expert values the fake at a mere $75 to $100.
It's a smoothbore barrel with a range of about 20 to 30 feet. And, it wasn't rifled, so your accuracy was...
What do you think it's worth?
It's authentic and, to the period, anywhere between $1,500 and $2,500.
Jim is crushed, realizing his wife, who was already mad he bought the gun, is now really gonna kill him. It's a painfully funny and relatable moment. This is a harsh lesson for any collector. Without proper paperwork and expert verification, you can easily get burned, turning a dream investment into an expensive and embarrassing mistake that you have to explain at home.
Yeah, man, unfortunately this happens a lot. I mean, you gotta have something saying that it's real. I feel bad for the guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to lose that kind of money either, but I mean, he should have got the paperwork.
Sorry. Oh, boy. My wife was pissed when I bought this gun. Now she's really gonna kill me.
Rick sees the restored Coke machine and he is utterly amazed. It looks brand new. The restorer explains the immense work, sandblasting, a new front plate, and hand-painted details. He even sourced decals from the only person in the country licensed by Coca-Cola to make them. It's a breathtaking transformation from a bullet-riddled shell into a pristine, iconic piece of American nostalgia.
Amazed. It looks brand new. When I first saw this thing, I couldn't believe it was the machine I dropped off a week ago. I mean, it looked that good. So what did you have to do to it?
Well, we ripped it in a million pieces and we sandblasted it and started all over from scratch again.
The restore shows off the modernized interior with new racks that adjust for different bottle sizes. Rick is thrilled he can now stock it with 72 beers. The restoration cost $2,500, but the machine now has a retail value of about $7,500. Rick knows he's made a fantastic investment, turning a $300 junker into a massive profit thanks to expert craftsmanship.
When I dropped this thing off, it was rusted out. I mean, everything was bad in it. And it looks like it was just rolled off the assembly line.
We found you a bottle mechanism that allows you to pull the bottle out. We got you some new racks. They allow you to go all the way forward.
A customer brings in a hit-and-miss engine, claiming it was a salesman's sample. Rick is fascinated, explaining it was one of the first commercially used gasoline motors from the late 1890s. He details how its efficient design, using big flywheels to coast, was revolutionary for farmers. The customer is impressed by Rick's knowledge, but the real nerd heaven moment doesn't happen yet. It comes later when the machine is fired up. This is still a great moment of shared enthusiasm for antique machinery.
Hit and miss? Right on. Okay. It's a genuine hit and miss. Now, I think it was the salesman's sample as he went from farm to sell these things.
Okay, so we got the belt on here. Do you mind if I take this out? Because that's a little creepy.
They fire up the engine and Rick continues his nerdy excitement, explaining how it only fires to keep idling. He admits that while he loves the machine, he doubts it's a rare salesman's sample, noting you can buy this model online. It's the classic Pawn Stars pivot from pure fascination to cold, hard business reality, setting the stage for the upcoming negotiation over its true market value.
It only needs to fire to keep it idling right. Once it got up to speed, it would lock in and keep the exhaust valve open. And since the exhaust valve was open, there was no vacuum to suck fuel in.
The customer believes his engine is worth around $3,500. Rick counters, saying that's the price for a brand new one, and his is heavily used, road hard. He makes an offer of $1,500. The customer understands Rick has overhead, but asks if he can move to $2,000. This is the standard pawn shop dance, where sentimental and perceived value meets the reality of retail markups and profit margins.
You're kidding. I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Okay, but do you know how much these completed models cost?
I have the faintest idea.
Around $3,500.
Rick suggests meeting in the middle at $1,750. The customer jokes, "That's not fair, huh?" Seeing an opportunity to close the deal, Rick ups his final offer to $1,800, calling it more than fair. The customer agrees, stating if Rick thinks it's fair, then it's a deal. The seller is happy it's going to someone who appreciates it, even if he might have priced it too low.
You do have overhead, I'm aware of that. And can we move your like up to $2,000?
I think we can meet in the middle at like $1,750.
That's not fair, huh?
A seller brings in a Turbo Man action figure from the 1996 movie Jingle All the Way. He explains the plot where Arnold Schwarzenegger's character desperately searches for the sold-out toy. The seller is offloading his figures because his wife wants them gone, admitting what she says goes. It's a classic collectible story driven by nostalgia and the need to reclaim some space at home.
Came out in 1996 along with the movie Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way, have you ever heard of this? It was all about a father trying to find a toy for his son on Christmas Eve, and this figure in the movie was completely sold out.
The toy expert examines the mint condition Turbo Man, noting the crisp corners and clear plastic. The seller asks for $150 each. The expert is then asked what he would sell them for in his own store, and he reveals he could get about $300 for the pair. This inside information immediately undercuts the seller's asking price and gives the pawn shop all the leverage in the coming negotiation.
We got our seals here. Also, I mean, it's really clear. That's what we look for. All your corners are nice and crisp. As far as condition goes, I mean, this is case fresh. You can't get any better than that.
Chumlee makes an offer of $75 each. The seller counters by throwing in the movie and asking for $125 each. Chumlee shuts it down, stating it's not a Tickle Me Elmo level phenomenon, and makes a final offer of $175 total. The seller accepts, happy to just get rid of them, and noting he only paid $25 each, so he can't complain. It's a quick, decisive deal.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way I'm gonna give you $150 a piece for them. I'll give you $75 each for them.
Well, how about if I throw in the movie and $125 each?
A customer brings in what he believes is an original 1864 Abraham Lincoln and Andrew Johnson campaign poster found at a garage sale. Rick is immediately intrigued, praising Lincoln for holding an election during the Civil War. He loves the detailed iconography, Columbia, the Federal Eagle, compared to modern, vague campaign messages. The piece's potential and incredible backstory as a garage sale find have him very excited.
Hey, what's up?
I got something pretty incredible for you. I believe it's an original 1864 campaign poster from Abe Lincoln and Andrew Johnson.
Wow, that is cool. Abe Lincoln, really neat guy. In '64, he changed vice presidents. His other vice president was... Just goes to show that no one ever remembers the name of vice president.
You're right.
Rick's excitement is tempered by skepticism. He points out major issues. The colors are terribly faded, with red curtains now barely pink and yellow banners barely yellow. There are also water stains. He explains that while Lincoln items are highly collectible, the poor condition and the prevalence of reproductions make him wary. He decides he must call an expert to authenticate it before any deal can be made.
I found it at a garage sale. I was just driving home one day and thought I'd take a look and found it and was really stoked about it. I wish I had some paperwork or documents to prove it's real, but you know, I think it is, just how the age of the paper and whatnot, so.
The poster expert, Mark, arrives and confirms its importance as a Grand National Union banner. He explains that in the 1860s, such posters were vital for conveying a candidate's image. He addresses Rick's concerns, confirming the broken letters and faded colors are consistent with originals due to age and sun exposure. He stunningly verifies it as a genuine 1864 Lincoln Johnson campaign poster, a phenomenal garage sale find.
Really? Yeah. That's pretty amazing. When you look at elections in the 1860s, we have to remember that we didn't have television, we didn't have radio, so posters like this were important to sort of set out an image.
With the poster authenticated, Rick gets a valuation. In pristine condition, it would be worth around $9,000. In its current state, Rick offers $500. The seller negotiates for $650, and they settle on $600. The seller is pleased, and Rick is thrilled to have a verified piece of Lincoln history for his shop, knowing there will always be a market for such a unique political artifact.
Thanks. I'm amazed. I mean, I never go to garage sales like that. That is one of those finds that is a lifetime find.
The planned horseback riding trip hits a snag when Corey reveals he is completely freaked out by horses. He vividly imagines a horse going crazy and running him off a cliff. He complains that agreeing to a simple hike with Chumlee snowballed into this, which is exactly why he usually says no automatically. His genuine fear provides a hilarious counterpoint to Chumlee's enthusiastic, if poorly planned, outdoor adventure.
Old man said he wants to go horseback riding.
We're supposed to go hiking.
It is hiking. We're gonna sit down and hike through the scenic.
I'm not riding a horse. You know I'm afraid of horses.
The scenic ride is a disappointment, taking place in a circle near a neighborhood, not the open desert. Rick refuses to ride in circles. The guide then reveals the horses are trained roping horses for the rodeo, requiring an experienced rider. The old man insists he can ride, boasting again about riding a caribou in the Navy. Rick shuts it down, worried about his dad's safety, leaving himself as the only rider.
This is an
neighborhood right down the street from my house. There's an apartment complex right across the street.
Well, the old man wanted to come. I was afraid to take him all through the desert.
I don't feel like riding around in a circle making left turns, so that's all you, buddy. Have fun.
The episode kicks off with a bang as a customer rolls in with a 1966 Chevy II. Rick's eyes light up. He's a total sucker for 60s muscle cars. The owner calls it a slick ride, and Rick agrees it's definitely cool. You can already feel the potential for a deal, but also the classic Pawn Stars haggling tension brewing. This is the kind of automotive treasure that makes the show so compelling to watch.
So this is it, huh?
Yeah, this is the dude, man, the 66 Chevy II. I know you like slick rides, so one slick ride.
Okay, yeah, it's definitely cool, man. How long you had it?
I've had it a few weeks, have some fun with it, and now I'm thinking about doing a new project.
Rick pops the hood and holy cow, it's a Corvette engine stuffed in there. The guys are seriously impressed by the detail and the wow factor. But the mood shifts when Rick asks if the rear end was changed. It wasn't. That original rear end is now a major point of concern, a potential deal breaker waiting to explode quite literally under the car's new power.
Get in it and smash the gas. Interesting to note, this car was to replace the Corvair. So Ford comes out with the Ford Falcon, which is a little tiny car, a compact for those days, and then sales start to slump for Corvair, and so they launched the Chevy II.
Rick drops the bomb, calling the stock rear end a grenade designed for 90 horsepower. Not this beast. He warns that a single burnout could make the whole thing implode. The customer insists it's fine if you don't push it, but Rick's not buying it. The excitement from seeing that killer engine is now totally overshadowed by this glaring and expensive mechanical flaw.
It's a big wow factor right there.
You can tell the guy did a lot of attention to detail on it, you know?
Getting that motor to fit in there right looks like it was done right. My buddy had one of these things when I was young, and we were embarrassed to be in it, I'll tell you that.
I don't think you'd be embarrassed today, though.
Yeah.
The negotiation begins, and the seller asks for a whopping $40,000. Rick immediately lowballs him with an offer of just $15,000, citing the unfinished project nature of the car. He estimates it'll cost $5,000 to fix the rear end properly. The seller stands firm on his price. You can feel the classic Pawn Stars stalemate forming right before our eyes. This car is cool, but it's a money pit.
That rear end was designed to handle 125 horsepower, not
Absolutely.
300 or 400.
I think you're pushing. We're about 90 horsepower, I think.
Yeah, as long as you don't take it over the limit, you're fine.
The deal completely falls apart. Rick says he can't do $40,000 and thanks the man for coming in. The seller says it's Rick's loss and insists he'll never get the car for $15,000. It's a clean break, no sale. You have to respect the seller's confidence, but Rick's practical concerns about the rear end were absolutely valid. Sometimes the coolest items are just too much of a risk.
You know, I don't mean to beat you up. I'd give you like 15 grand for it because it's a project that's not done in my eyes.
Yeah, this will be a fun project.
Well, it'd be a great project, but right now I ain't got the time for a project, you know? What is your best price?
My best price would be 40.
40 might be a decent price for someone who wanted to keep.
Meanwhile, Corey is begging Rick for a company car, complaining that every other owner has one but him. Rick is hilariously resistant, insisting any company vehicle will be a basic value-holding truck. Corey's desperation is palpable and kind of funny. It's a classic father-son dynamic playing out in a pawn shop, setting the stage for Corey to probably do something ridiculous, which is his specialty.
We have a company truck. What's wrong with that truck?
You put your face on it.
It's vinyl wrapped. It promotes the business.
Cool, someone else can drive it. I need a real company car.
A new customer brings in an incredible piece of history, an original 1886 souvenir program from the Statue of Liberty's unveiling. Rick is instantly fascinated, geeking out over the Americana. He shares cool facts like how the base was funded by public donations. The customer hopes for $2,500, and you can tell Rick is tempted but needs to be sure it's not a reproduction from a later date.
What we got here?
Something you might be interested in. It's an original souvenir program from the unveiling of the Statue of Liberty, dated 1886.
That is really, really cool.
Rick, ever cautious, calls in an expert, Mark, to authenticate the program. His main fear is that it's a 1986 reprint made to look old. The customer is hopeful and excited for the verification. This is the quintessential Pawn Stars move, the dramatic expert call that will make or break the deal and determine the fate of this potentially priceless historical document.
A woman came in with what she believes is an original program from the unveiling of the Statue of Liberty. I want to make sure it's from 1886 from the original unveiling. So I called in Mark just to make sure.
In a wonderfully weird twist, another customer shows up with a badass Cupid doll collection. Corey is just baffled, making the perfect joke that this is the first man ever to say that. The seller explains his wife collected them over 10 years. Corey, completely out of his element with dolls, knows he needs to call in his own expert to avoid getting totally scammed on this one.
What do we have here?
Yeah, this is my badass Cupie doll collection.
Got to be the first man ever in the history of the world to sell.
Absolutely.
Corey admits he knows nothing about dolls and would just be making up a price, so he calls in his toy expert friend, Johnny. This is smart, but it also highlights how niche some of these collections are. The seller seems pleased, hoping to learn more about his own collection. It's a smart move that adds credibility to the process and gives the viewer a fun learning moment.
Well, I mean, they've been around for over 100 years. Rose O'Neal, in the early 1900s, she was illustrating, and then 1909 was the first publication of the Cupie. And then she got a flood of letters of everybody demanding dolls. And then not too long after, they started producing these dolls in Germany. They're kind of based on Cupid, but he kind of caused trouble where these kind of saved everybody.
Johnny the expert arrives and drops some knowledge. He explains the dolls, called Cupies, were created by Rose O'Neal and were like the Care Bears of the early 1900s. He carefully examines the collection for markings and signs of reproduction. He advises against selling them as a lot, suggesting they'll make more money individually, valuing the entire group around $1,700 to $1,800.
So is there a big market for these out there?
Well, yes and no. A lot of people that grew up in this time or relate to these stories, a lot of those people aren't around nowadays.
The negotiation for the dolls begins. The seller asks for $1,200, but Corey counters with $800. They go back and forth, with the seller mentioning he needs to make his wife happy. Finally, Corey lands on a final offer of $1,000. The seller agrees, happy to have made $1,000. It's a fair deal that shows Corey learning and applying the expert's advice to make a calculated purchase.
So what do you take for it, man? I know you got to make a little bit of money too. I mean, I'd like to get like 12. I mean, I think that's reasonable. My wife would be happy with that.
How happy would she be with 800?
If we're somewhere like around 11, that would be good. I mean, it still gives you plenty of money to make on it.
Back to the Statue of Liberty program, expert Mark confirms it's the real deal. He points out the metallic inks and period typeface as proof. It's an original from the 1886 dedication. The customer is validated, but now the real haggling begins. Rick knows it's authentic, but he also knows its market isn't as huge as something like a first edition famous novel.
And the only ones who were allowed to go out to the island and actually saw or heard anything of the real dedication were like the president and all the dignitaries, and they didn't even let women out.
Rick makes his offer, a paltry $200. The customer is visibly disappointed, having expected at least $1,000. Rick stands firm, eventually raising his offer to only $250. The customer refuses, saying he'd rather keep it in the family. It's a stark reminder that historical significance doesn't always translate to high pawn shop value. The customer leaves with his precious but unsold piece of history.
Now, I mean, I don't mean to beat you up, but I would give you like $200 for this.
I want at least $2,500. It's extremely rare.
I know it's...
I've never seen another one.
It's rare, but you have to realize it's not like a first edition Mark Twain or things like that. It's
In the final scene, Corey reveals his genius scheme. The massive lifted truck from earlier was just a prop borrowed from a friend to make the normal truck he actually bought seem reasonable by comparison. Chum is impressed by the psychological play. It's a hilarious endnote, showing that while Rick is the master of pawn, Corey is the master of manipulating his own dad. A sweet, funny victory for the son.
Seems sweet.
See, Chum, that's how you handle my dad.
What do you mean?
Get him all riled up with something that looks expensive, and then you slide something else in. Look, check it out.
So what were you doing, just test driving the other truck?
I borrowed it from a buddy of mine.